See if we could get some people on here. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Mario, and this is Rides Above. I created this channel a while back for different reasons. I wanted to share wisdom, share knowledge, share the tools, share the tricks that I learned on how I was able to overcome overcome my dependency on alcohol. How I was able to transform my physical body, my physical appearance, but more importantly, how I was able to change my mental my mental fortitude, my mental programming, and hope that I can help somebody out there do the same. Before I created this channel, I wrote this book, Rise Above. This channel is was born through this book. However, because of my own self-doubts, I never really talk about it, even though I've had a link for it up on my profile for a long time. Just let you know I'm still dealing with my stuff. Now, I want to start diving deep into this because truthfully, in here is is everything that I used to escape, to free myself, and even reading back on this now, it's been about 2 years since I wrote it. I've been working on it, changing the format so I can get it up on Amazon, which I do, which is on the link on the profile. But everything on here is just as evergreen as it was 2 years ago. So we're gonna go ahead and start going from the beginning, working our way through the book. We won't get through the whole thing tonight, but I want to at least start sharing the information I have on here for all of you because I know that there's someone out there that this is going to serve, that's going to help them. There's people struggling, and I think what's in here can be the key to your escape, can give you the keys to open the door to your freedom. Because there's a great saying that says the door out of hell opens from the inside, meaning only you can help yourself escape the situation, escape the life, escape the body that you have. So again, I got sober 4 years ago. I transformed my life, transformed my body, transformed everything through the grace of God and through everything that I wrote in here. I kept it as simple as I could. The link's on the profile. Anybody wants to check it out, it's a few dollars. But either way, I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to hold nothing back. But if anybody just wants a copy for themselves, more than welcome to go check it out. So the first chapter in this book, I titled it The Beginning of Change Awareness, because true change can only happen when you become aware of certain things that have transpired or things that you haven't really thought about. Now, I'm going to read a line from the chapter. These are very short chapters that you can go through. You can read the whole thing in about 20 minutes. It's a short book, but I cut down all the fluff, took out all the fat, just to get you guys the most important thing. I have a line here that says, understand that your addictions, depression, and negative mindset began before you could even talk or walk. Do you remember 10 things you learned before the age of 4? Doubt it. See, the things that most people don't realize. What's going, Admin Banhammer? Thanks for checking in. The things that most people don't realize is that in order to function, as a human being on this thing we call Earth is we're not that we're not that different from computers, from phones, from the robots that are coming because we all share one thing. We all operate off of a program. We've all been downloaded with some sort of program from the moment we were born till about the age 5 or 6. These are all facts that I've learned from different psychologists, psychiatrists, different things from reading books, podcasts, all that. And the thing is, when you're going through a hard time, when you're doing things like what they say is self-sabotaging, when you're stuck in your addictions, see, you're blaming yourself for a lot of the things that truthfully are not your fault. Yeah, you may be the one who's making these things happen in the real world, but there's a very good chance that you're just operating from a program, from a software. Thank you, Jeanette. Appreciate it. Operating from a software that was put into you before you even realized what was going on. There's so many things that you don't realize and you'll never remember that you saw when you were 1, 2, 3, or 4 that stayed in your mind, that made you believe that that's how the world works and that's how you operate. And now fast forward 15, 20, 30 years, and you're not doing things that you don't want to do anymore, causing harm to yourself, causing harm to others, and you're walking around with this shame because you think that you're somehow broken. You're not broken. You're just not aware of the program that you had downloaded into you. What's going on, Iman? Ariane, what's going on? So understand that in order to change, you have to learn how to change the software, the programming that was put into you. And the first step in that is through awareness. So you have to say, okay, well, you know what? Today I went out. I've been sober for 4 years now, but I remember near the end, I was literally able to start seeing the things that were triggering my drinking, things that would trigger me to do things I didn't want to do, and I would see the patterns. And it truthfully wasn't until I got sober that I was able to really clearly see the dots of how these things led up to each other and how they were connected to my childhood. What's going on, Jeanette? So, the first thing you have to realize, first thing you have to be aware of is that you're not broken. You may be in a bad situation, your your physical state, your financial state, your mental state might be operating a very low vibration right now, but that's why we're doing this. Because we're gonna flip that, we're gonna change everything, but you have to first just come to the terms that whatever's happened to you up until now, it probably wasn't fair. It probably wasn't your fault. But now that you're aware that you can actually change it, now it's time for you to take control and start saying, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat. You've been in the passenger seat this whole time. Now you get to take the keys and you start driving the vehicle of the vehicles you want to actually drive. Peace out. Maybe in a fast situation. All right. So next chapter is how to identify your pain's vehicle. So this chapter, what we're really going to go over is how to stop associating your identity to anything that you no longer want it to be associated to. Meaning, whatever it is that you don't want to do anymore, you have to make the decision. You have to download the program into your mind to say these things that I've been used to doing because I'm no longer this person anymore. Because once you make that decision, it's instant. It's not something that you gradually do if you're really serious about making this change, which is If you want to get in shape, if you want to get healthy, if you want to lose weight, yeah, you might not have the body you want right now. Today might be day one, but you have to understand that right away, the things you did up until now are no longer something that identify with you. Eating the things you've ate up until this point, not exercising, all these things are no longer part of your identity. The vehicle you drove before was one, may have been one of laziness, one of procrastination, one of addiction. But the moment you're able to say, okay, that's no longer my software, my program, it's amazing how quickly things can change for you. Now, you guys have to excuse me for a second. Sorry, you guys, my allergies are really bad today. Now, let's say, for example, you were to go into a coma, and when you woke up, when you woke up, you're told that you're a Navy SEAL. Well, you have no recollection of your past memory of your past life. What would you do? Well, more than likely, if you know what a Navy SEAL does, that's what you would get up and do. You say, okay, well, what time am I supposed to go train? What time? What are my orders? Whatever it is, you would operate in that manner, and that's what this is about. It is identifying your pain's vehicle is by saying, okay, up until now, the old program you had, what was it that it drove you to every day? And now you shift that. Now you change that. It's all depending on who you want to be now, who you want to change, who you want to change into, what you want to fix in your life. Now, the following chapters, activating change. How do you actually activate change? I'm going to read a very small part of it. Learn to channel years of pain and struggle into an undeniable hatred for the vehicle that has drove you to where you're at. Feeling the agony of everything you lose to it. Reclaim the power for yourself, never identifying with it again. Kobe Bryant used to talk a lot about the Black Mamba, which is how to go into the dark side of your mind, like dark side of your spirit, and operate from a level of not just love, but of hate too. Hatred for the things that have been taken from you, hatred to get back to where you were once, operating from a purely dark, evil place. And instead of letting that suck you in, you now flip that and use that as motivation, as fuel to push you into doing the things that you're not accustomed to doing, the things that your mind is going to fight you into doing. We're only going to go through two more chapters. We're going to cut off there, and then tomorrow night we'll be going through the rest of the book. And we'll go over this and go over this and go over this again. And hopefully, if one person gets something out of this, then it was all worth it. Right? Now, whether you're religious or not, first chapter in change for me was God. Because I had to realize that even though I, up until 4 years ago, considered myself as somebody who believed in God, who was trying really hard to pray, to do these things, I I honestly never had that relationship with God that I wanted because I didn't trust Him. I kept blaming myself. I kept blaming situations. I kept operating in this victim mentality, not realizing that when you're mad at situations, when you're looking for people and things to blame, you're in the end blaming God. And what you find out when you make this change, when you're able to overcome everything you're going through, is God does have a bigger purpose for you. And anything that you've gone through, anything that you're going through, it may not feel like it may not seem like it, but you're going through it for a reason. God is putting you through this not to break you, but to reshape you into the version that you were meant to be. And most people don't realize that. Most people, it's easier to play the victim game as opposed to being grateful for where they're at and then beginning to build off that and live their life as an operator. So become an operator, not a consumer in your life. Don't let the world dictate you. Don't let people around you dictate who you are, how you feel. Trust that everything that's happened up until this point had to happen. See, that's the important part. When you have true faith in God, you realize that as shitty as things may have been, things you've gone through, they had to happen to get you to right where you're at right now, for you to be able to make the changes that you're going to make so they were all worth it. Because in the end, you'll be able to go back and help other people. There were many times where I cursed myself, I cursed my dad, a lot of things that now I look back and I almost laugh about it because there's nothing I would change because all those things were were breaking me down so I can build myself up. And none of that would have been possible had I not finally just started trusting him, trusting God and trusting the process. So everything starts with God. I'll read a small part of this chapter before we jump into the last part of it, and then we're going to cut off for tonight. God, our Creator, made us in His image. Our purpose and key to peace and joy lie in living for two principles: creation and helping fellow mankind. So understand that your true happiness, your true purpose is going to come from whatever you decide to create to make not just your life better, but to make the people around you, to make their situation better, to help them so you can be the light in their life. You may have up until this point been the person that everybody counted on to mess things up, to not show up, to always be hammered, to always focus on the wrong things. And when you change, it may come a lot easier to you than it will to the people around you because they won't be used to seeing this new version of you. It might even bother them because it might trigger insecurities within themselves. You have to be prepared and ready for all that so you don't then lose momentum from what you're doing because you're confused now why the people you thought were going to be excited for you are not. And that's where knowing that God is the only person, the only thing, the only reason you have to make things better. We're going to end it on this one, which is financial, named it financial literacy, but I'm going to be changing it to financial awakening. So if you purchase it, it'll actually say financial awakening on it because I have gone ahead and changed it. I'm going to read a small part of it. We'll go over it and then we're going to cut off for tonight. While perhaps controversial, placing financial literacy as the next discipline following God was necessary. Beyond the generational burdens unknowingly placed on you as a child, the most damaging lies revolve around money. The saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, remain as relevant now as before for a reason. It's true. Wealthy parents teach their children how to create and stay wealthy, while struggling parents teach their kids how to struggle. If financial problems are fueling your depression or addiction, there's hope. You can and you will break the generational curse. This goes back to what I referred to when it came to what programming are you operating off of. I had two completely different parents. I had a mother that was very hardworking. She was a super mom when it came to taking care of me and my brothers, but she was also someone who was very protective of her money and saved and was very frugal in the things we did. My father, on the other hand, completely pissed away all his money, and I've had to learn how to find how to find the silver lining in both of them. There's plenty of ways to become more financial literate, and the truth is that a lot of times when you make the changes you need to make to improve your lifestyle, to improve your health, to improve your physical health, the money somehow always comes with it. Because when I was at my worst, I was in a bad place because I wasn't making nowhere near enough money to take care of my family. And the irony in it was the moment I stopped being operating in that state of energy, of having that mindset of drinking because I had a reason to drink because everything was bad. I flipped it, started exercising, gave up gave up all my vices. I had the energy, I had the creativity to start bringing in more money. So we're gonna end it on there today. Again, if you guys go to my profile, check out the link, get this on Amazon. It's only a few dollars. As always, I'd be super grateful. If not, come back in tomorrow night. We're gonna go through the last few chapters. If you can't catch it tomorrow night, check the replay. If you can't, we'll be going through this book a lot. So thank you guys. Good night.